Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Thelma's Creations and More, where today is a continuation of the Think Pink Breast Cancer Design Team Project for Studio 28E. Last time we went through the flip through of, this is my coffee, hopefully I won't spill it, the flip through of the kit, Think Pink Breast Cancer. And let me show you what I've done so far. I have been working on it off camera, but I did leave some elements so that I could show you. Now, this is the cover. I haven't finished, but this is a cover that I like to use for my journals. I will link the tutorial that I got it from in the description box. But basically, you take an 8.5, an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and you score it at 5, 5 1/4, 5 1/2, 5 3/4, and 6, which will give you these lines right here. And I just simply rounded the corner. I will be linking her tutorial. It's Megan Heft here on YouTube, and it's called the Cardstock Journal Cover. And she explains to you how to do the cover. It's very easy, and I like it. I really, really, really like this cover. I usually use it for all my journals. And then what I've done, because I use it all the time, is I've put the cover mats for it and then the page mats. So the cover mats would be here, whatever I need to cut that. I wrote down the measurements. And then the page mats where I'll show you inside here. And the signatures, how wide and how long they need to be, just for my future reference. When I make a journal, I have, let me show you. I have a little Ziploc bag that it's growing as I go. And I labeled it Junk Journal Ideas Templates, and I have it in my filing cabinet. And what I have is ideas that I like to use in my journals. And so I saw this, I was working on it, I didn't write it down, on a YouTube video, and I didn't write it down. Usually I write down who it's from and the title and stuff like that. But I was working on this, and so I put it in here to give me an idea. Patricia Viramontes, you know, I really like to watch her stuff. So this is an idea I got from her, and I put that there, and it tells me it's a pocket. So when I'm working in a journal, I know that I can use this as a pocket. For example, if I wanted to make one here, I would do that. The ones for the front cover, I like to put, is it this one? Oh no, it is this one. I like to put almost all the time a pocket in the front and the back. So this will be for one side, and the back side I flip it over. And so I like doing this because then I can take something from the digital kit, and I can use it as a stencil now. So for example, if I wanted to use it here, then I cut out the image, see? So then I know that, like this one I can use. I'll put it here, and then I'll just trace around and then cut it out, and I know that it will fit my book, and I can do that. So in this Ziploc bag, I have different printables. Some of them were free from Pinterest. Some of them I purchased. Some of them were given to me. I have tags and little journaling cards that have the matching, well, not the matching, but this journaling card goes specifically to this envelope. This is to make a matchbook, more pockets, journaling things, a trifold. What else do I have in here? a pocketed tag. If you like to, you could look on my videos. This is a pocketed tag. I made a tutorial on it where you get the tag pocket, the tag base and the pocket, a tag and a journaling card out of one 8.5 by 11 paper. And then this one was sent to me it was from Margie for a scripture swap, and it is a little folder, like a manila folder, and I use it, you know, as a template. And so I hope that that gives you an idea of what to do as far as building your idea. I know, I think Gail here on YouTube, Gail Augustelli, I think it's called, or Gail, the famous Gail for junk journaling, has an actual journal, which she calls, I think, her idea book or her idea journal, where she basically does the same thing, but they're put together, and she puts them in there so she could get ideas. So mine hasn't made it into a journal yet, but these are my templates, my ideas, and it helps me out tremendously. So let me show you what I have done so far. Well, I did the cover, and I distressed it. I distressed it with Distress Inks. So far, I put in 2 signatures. This is one. I left it out for a reason because I want to show you how I put in my signatures. On the cover, I did reinforce the back with a piece of ribbon that I thought went great with this, because it's like a muslin. It's a tan muslin with roses on it, and the kit has roses on it. So I did leave a signature out to show you how I put it in. What I did was I went through the journal kit, and I went through it and decided which ones I wanted to use for my signatures. For those that are new to junk journaling, a signature is just a clump or a little excuse me, like a booklet of sorts that you put in here. So this would be one signature. It's like a little notebook, if you will, in here. And this particular journal, I made 3 of them, and so I decided which pages from the kit I wanted to use in the signatures, and all I did was put them together. So I picked out this. I'll show you how I did this, but I put coffee dyed right here. So I picked out my page, some coffee dyed paper, another page. I think I did 3. I did 3 printed pages, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coffee dyed. And so all I do is, or all I did was get the papers, the printed papers, the coffee dyed papers, and I folded them in half. Made sure I creased them. I did crease them one by one, meaning I took this first page. Oh, sorry, I have this. I took this first page, folded it in half. The coffee page, folded it in half, etc. to all the ones that I wanted to put in my signature. Then I put them one inside of each other, and I leave a little bit on the top and on the bottom, and a little bit on the sides. So I have my measurements already, but see how it's shorter, a little shorter from the cover. It has a little margin all the way around. And then I cut them off. And what I use to keep them together so that I can put them in my cover is these big paper clips that I got, believe it or not, at my grocery store. So let me show you how I put that together. I do use a little crocodile that I have here. Let me open this up. I am going to need, this is a pink one. I'm going to need some of this embroidery floss, and I don't remember where I put it. I was working with it, And, oh man, I don't remember where I put it, and it's a pink color. Okay, we'll skip over that part. Maybe in the next one I'll finish showing you how to sew in the signature. I can't find the embroidery floss, and it's a pink, and I specifically bought it for this journal. It's in a safe place. I just don't remember where that safe place is. Did that ever happen to you? Let me take a little sip of my favorite beverage here, my coffee. So, let me show you what I've been doing to the signatures. This is one of the signatures. What I did was I distressed the white part on all of the printed ones. Then on the coffee dyed paper, I stamped with my stamps some butterflies, because in I'll show you in the kit, and of course, because I'm looking for it, in the kit itself there is butterflies and birds, and that's what I stamped on there. And of course I can't find where it has a butterfly. Let me see. Well, here's one of the birds. Oh, doesn't have a butterfly. I know it had it. That's why I pulled out my butterfly stamps. So, oh, here it is. It had a butterfly. And some of the elements have butterflies, and the kit also has birds in it, because I'm trying to find them. I can't find it. Oh my goodness. I think I showed you one anyway, right here. This one. So, that's another hint I can share with you. When you're making a journal, look at the kit and see what you have in your stash and your supplies that you can use. So here, for example, in this page, I see flowers, greenery, lace, and the color pink. So you can go out and grab stuff from your stash that has pink, lace, flowers, greenery, because it will go with the kit. So I put this ribbon because it kind of matched. See? So when I saw that it had, pay attention to the kit, it has roses as well. When I saw it had butterflies, I went and I grabbed my stamp, which is, I know that stamp came from Hobby Lobby. I must have put it back. And then these were from Happy Mail that somebody had sent me, and I remembered that I had a butterfly and a bird. So I grabbed that. I'm looking for my other little, yep, I put it away. The other one was this one. This one I know I got at Hobby Lobby. Oh my. So I grabbed that, and where's my brown ink? Aha, I had a brown ink and I grabbed it, and what I did was I stamped on the coffee dyed paper. And I like to use these craft mats from Dollar Tree. This is only part of it, but I have a smaller one, and I like them because they come 2 to a pack, but I usually cut one to size, which is half of a book, so that I can't put it in there. I had it here. Oh my. Well, another tool I have that I like to use is a small clipboard that I had for, I don't know, it was lying around here in my house, and I like to use it to de-stress. But I do have one of those red craft mats that is cut to size for the book. Oh my. Oh well, we'll figure it out. So what I did was I just grabbed something. Something, because I can't find what I usually use, which is that half a sheet. It's a little like paper, but you know what, I'm gonna make do. I'm gonna use this little legal size pad, and what I did was I put it on the bottom of the coffee paper. This is tea dye paper actually. Then I grabbed my stamp and I did one this way, one that way, like that. Then I took a brown Sharpie and made the little flutters, just did little dots just so it could seem like it was going off the page. When I did that, I noticed that you could see the little dots on the other side. So I just went by again and I stamped where they were. I think it gives it a little nice element when you open it up. This will be to journal. I haven't decorated here yet, but it has a cute little element of surprise there. So I did that to a couple of the pages with this one. Now, this one has a bird. So guess what? I switched over to my bird stamp. And just put them in different places. And then I went over and got the bigger butterfly stamp, which is this one right here. And I did the same thing. And I think it just makes the papers look different and unique. And so I hope that you like that idea for when you do, and I did change it over to this one. In the beginning, I was using the Distress ink, but I did not like the quality of the stamp ink. So I changed it over to this one, and I liked it a lot more. It came out very nice. Oh, and this was one of the elements I did. I'll show you that in a minute. So I still have to go back, and I have to finish doing the stamping here. So I thought I'd show you how I do that. So we're going to start here, but I need to look to see where the birds are. I don't think this one has birds. Nope, no birds here. So I guess all this will be butterflies. Okay, perfect. So this one starts with the small. So I'm going to do this one with big. So I'm going to take my little book, put it down here. Small, so big. So I hope that this will inspire you to look through your your stamps and see what you have, and maybe you have something in your I'm just inking up the stamp. Maybe you have something in your stash that will go with your digital kit that you're working with, or the paper, the scrapbook paper. And, you know, use what you have. What I like about making journals is that it is your creation. So, make it your creation. Use your stash. I know that at first I was, when I was learning, and I still am learning, but I would like to. So then I take a little fine tip Sharpie, or you can use a pen if you like. I'm using a brown because it is brown colored ink. And then all I'm doing is adding the little dots so it will look like the butterfly had flew from the page or is flying on the page. So when I first started, see how you can kind of see the stamp through the paper? Oh, look at that beautiful teak color. So all I did was, oh man. Okay, hold on. We'll make it work. There we go. It had fell down and kind of decided where it wanted to be stamped. So it will be stamped there. Here you can kind of see it. So I'm going to kind of put it in the same area. And then go back and do the same thing with the little Sharpie. And make the little trail, if you will, of the butterfly. like I was saying, when I first started making journals, of course, I was learning and I'm still learning. I am by no means an expert. But I would stick to, how could I say it? I guess, you know, when you watch a tutorial and I didn't know and I was learning. So, for example, if the person would do this on the page, I would do the same thing. I would take the tea dye paper, and if I didn't have a butterfly stamp, I had to go get a butterfly stamp that kinda or sorta, or if I was lucky enough, find the exact stamp that they used, and I would use the same technique, which is fine, and you know, it works out, and and that's fine. But as I am doing more and more of these journals, I believe that I am bringing more of my style into the journals that I'm making. For example, I love butterflies, right? So I tend to look for something that has a butterfly, or I have found, or I have noticed that when I do a project, whether it be a journal or my paper crafting, that I tend to have at least one butterfly in my creation, because I do like butterflies so much. I will encourage you that, you know, use your style. Do you like dragonflies perhaps? Or do you like butterflies? Do you like to color? Do you like to paint? Do you like to do mixed media? Well, put it in your projects. I think that as we go along and we are we familiarize ourselves with journal making or any other crafting, we become more comfortable and we start really putting our personality in it. And I believe that that makes the best creations, when you can be you, and you know, you start putting your special touches and your special techniques into it. It becomes, you know, your creation, and you really enjoy it, and then you have a hard time letting go of your creations, you know, when people want to purchase your stuff or your items, because you poured into them your love, your time, your attention. And so, you know, I encourage you to look on YouTube, look at tutorials, learn what you have to learn, do new things. But the best thing you can do is to be yourself, meaning pour your stuff in there. And I believe it makes a better journal. So now I'm going to switch over to the little one. And so I like to do them one way, the other. But, you know, you can put them wherever you want. It is up to you. It is your creation. So, that's what I did in the, or I am going to do in the coffee. I always say coffee dye because usually I coffee dye my papers. But this time I didn't, because I didn't have any instant coffee, and I did not want to use my K-Cups for that reason. I want to enjoy my K-Cups myself, you know, my coffee. So I didn't do it because I didn't have any instant coffee. I like the instant coffee because I think it comes out darker when I do it. Another reason I did not want to do the coffee dyeing is because some people do not like the smell of coffee. So let me do the other ones that way. Whenever I turn them over, all I have to do is the little dots. Because of the fact that some people don't like the smell of coffee, when I coffee dye paper, I will let it air dry for a long time until all the coffee smell is gone. And so I know, or I knew, I'm sorry, that I needed some coffee dyed paper, or some paper that was dyed, because I didn't have any more in my stash. So I knew that I had to use it right away, and I was not going to have time for it to sit out and have the smell go away. So I opted to do tea dyeing, which I liked. I bought, or I had bought, I still have, a box of tea at the Dollar Tree. And that's what I used for my, excuse me, to dye this paper. And you know what? I really liked it. I learned something with the coffee dyeing. I usually get, that'll be good. That's good. All the color, all the paper's the same color, but with the tea, I've learned that, well, let me explain. When I coffee dye my paper, I will take like a pack, right, or a couple of sheets, and I will put them on in my oven pan, and I will dump the coffee on there and just let it soak it up. And then I have a little foam brush that I will paint, you know, like the first sheet, I will paint it, and then turn it around, paint the other side, and I put it, you know, to the side. And the way I dry my paper is I do not put it in the oven. Reason being, I have back problems, and it really bothers my back to put in stuff in the oven and take it out. So what I do is I use a blow dryer to dry my coffee dye paper. So while I'm drying that one, I'll do the next one, and like that until I finish a stack of paper. What I find with my coffee dyeing is that I get the same color, or around the same color, excuse me, on my coffee dyeing. But with the tea dyeing, I noticed that as I was working with the first ones, right, as it sat in the tea for longer periods of time, it got different colors. Now look at this one, and then it depends on where the tea was. I got different colorations. See? And so I liked it because in one batch, this all came from the same batch, meaning I tea dyed it all to, you know, at the same time. Look at the color I got here, and then look at this color. And it was the same one, but this one was in the tea longer. So I learned something new. Look at this one. See how it has a little marks here? See? And then there was a paper on top of here, so this one got tea, and this one, the one on top, didn't. So I get different little spotches or splatters, or see, and it's all from the same paper that was dyed at the same time. But look at the color variations. I think this one was one of the last ones. So I learned something new that day. That's tea. I get different, just different prints on there, different colors, and I'm working it at the same time. Oh, that one didn't have a lot of ink. There we go. So, a little tip for you: the tea, the longer it sits, the darker it gets, and the coffee, it does get darker, but not as variated as I saw with the tea. So I just might stick with tea dyeing because I really like that they look different, but it was in the same batch. Because when I want to have darker colors of coffee dyed paper, I will have more coffee to make it darker. But with the tea, I just have to let it sit longer, and it worked just fine. Or add less water, right? Or more water and make it lighter. So, hey, we learn something new every day. or I do when I'm working on this. So I am doing my coffee dyed pages this way. The templates that I showed you earlier today, I will show you what I made using those. But let me just stamp these. Oh, one more side. What I did was after I picked, okay, I gotta ink it. Why is it not coming out? There we go. I just gotta give the paper a little time. There we go, to soak up the ink. Okay, so I'll go back and finish that off camera. I took the paper that was left over after I chose the ones in my signatures, and after I chose my front and back cover. I haven't done it. Excuse me. I haven't put them on there, but I already chose which ones are going to be on there. So what I did was I took my leftover sheets of the digital kit. I'm just putting this away so that will be put away and out of my way. I took them out, and then I took those templates. Remember these? And I said, oh, okay, well, let me see. For example, I want one. I'm gonna make this little manila folder. So I took it out and I decided where I wanted it. I traced it and I cut it out. And I did that to whatever I wanted out of the bag. And let me show you what I've made so far. This is one thing. And so I took one of the little templates, I traced around it, cut it out. I distressed the front and the back. And then I used my stamp again, the little bird stamp, stamped it there. So now I have like a little journaling card that I can use in my journal to embellish something. I haven't put it in my pockets or anything like that. But, you know, now I have a journaling card. So now I can decide if I want to just paper clip it in or put it in a pocket, or let's see what we will do. I took my journaling kit pages and I made some envelopes. Now, I do not have a template for this because I do have a We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board right here. So I can make different size envelopes using this punch board, and I made envelopes for the journal. Now inside of the journal I'm going to have 3 signatures, so I made 3 different types of envelopes, or 3 different envelopes. Distress the edges. This one has a print on it. This one doesn't, so I still need to decorate it. And this one didn't either, but I decorated it with elements from, let me see the page. My printer, for some reason, goes crazy sometimes. Does your printer go crazy? Mine does. And it makes misprints. Sometimes, for whatever reason, it just prints black. So I had some misprints, and so I used the little roses. It was originally on this page right here, but for some reason around the roses, it had black. So what I did was I fussy cut them so that I could use the paper instead of throwing it away. I fussy cut them and I just glued them here. So that's my decoration here. But I'm trying to find one that's shorter. I did not glue it all the way through, so I can put in a little journaling card, or I can tuck in a tag there, something like that. So I made 3 envelopes using my envelope punch board. Remember that little stencil of that little manila folder? Again, cut it out of my digital paper, distressed it, front, inside, and out. And then I added some trim here so I can put it in a little tag. But here I want to make a little, like a mini booklet, a mini journal, and put it in my other big journal in one of the pockets. But I haven't done that, but this is what I'm going to do with that. So take your digital kit and make it, you know. This will be for my front and back cover, this way. I have not decorated them yet, but I know that I always like to put in pocket in the front, and I still have to put paper here and in the back. So I cut those out of pink cardstock and distressed the edges. I haven't decorated it yet. I took a piece of craft cardstock and distressed the edges. Used my Martha Stewart, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a border punch. Doily, I think it's called the doily punch or something like that, edge punch or something like that. And I did the border here, distressed the edges, added some book page, and distressed it here. I turned it around and just glued some pink paper, scrapbooking paper, distressed the edges, and used my butterfly punch again. So everything will be coordinating. A little journaling card, maybe a tuck spot or something. I haven't decided. Another one. But this time I did not use the edge punch. So it looks similar, but they match. So use your scrap cardstock, your scrapbook pieces or that you have left over, and make little journaling cards. See, they're all journaling cards, but they look different. Edge punch, not edge punch. It's more rectangle. This is more square. And then look at the little ephemera that we have so far. I made one of those tagged tag pockets. Again, using the digital paper. This one. And then I used my template that I have and cut it out. So from here to this, distressed the edges, made a little hole here, and now I have somewhere to put a tag. That's one. I made this one already off camera. I have not decorated this one yet, but this one I did. And I just took some cardstock, scrapbook paper, distressed, made the little pocket. This one says Healing Prayers. Added a little die cut of a butterfly, some eyelash trim, and then I layered up a tag. And so this is ready to be put in my journal. So now I have to decide where I want it. Perhaps right here. I can glue it down. So I have this pocket. I can glue 3 sides and have a double pocket, one in the back, one in the front. I can take it to the side, glue it, or paper clip it in. Okay, hold on. There we go. Glue it or paper clip it in, and I have a tuck spot on the side. So I haven't decided yet. This one came with the kit. It was like a postcard, but I put a little bit of glitter glue on it to give it a little bit of shine. Distress the edges and use some scalloped edge scissors. And so this one might just be a little tuck. See if I can put that in here as well. This was left over, a piece that was left over. Just put some ribbon there on the edges and did some glitter glue on the ephemera piece. Distress the edges. So this is another journaling card, or I can use it as a tuck spot. Glue it down here, tuck spot there. Maybe on this side do the same thing, or put it in a pocket. The other postcard, I cut it out. I put it on cardstock, a piece of cardstock that I had. Added a piece of lace, like for a little tab. Glitter glued it. Same thing. I can paper clip it in to any one of my pages. I like that the little tab will stick out of the little lace, so it will be sticking out of my journal. I can put it in a pocket and use it as a journaling piece. What did I do here? I just took a piece of pink cardstock that I had left over and used that same border punch. So now I distressed it. I can use this on, let's say, a little tag back here as a decoration. I don't know yet. We will see. I made a little note card just with a piece of cardstock. Folded it over. I punched it out with that same punch, but this time I used a pink inking around. I inked it. I think I'm going to put this on a page and maybe have a flip up. I don't know. We will find out when we get there. This is, remember I told you I had some misprints or whatever, so I ended up with 2. So I did this one with a scalloped edge. This one I left as is. This is just an envelope I had. I distressed it with the pink ink. A different color of pink ink. I put a piece of lace on it because I thought it looked really pretty. And this was an ephemera that came, excuse me, with the kit. What I did was I added some like glitter glue, gave it a little bit of sparkle. I folded it in half so it would fit inside of the envelope. And I can use this in my journal as a tuck or in a pocket or paper clip it in. This I left as is, just distress the edges. Now, remember I said that I had templates, oh my goodness, in that little bag. Oh my, I did a lot of these, okay. So, in the templates, I have different size tags. So, I cut them out from, you know, the bits and pieces that I had left over. I just put it, you know, wherever they fit. And I traced around them and I cut them out. I distressed the front and the back. And then I took pieces of the digital kit. Like, remember I told you I had some misprints. This one was another misprint because of my printer. It had some black around it, so all I did was cut out this ribbon and I put a little bit of glitter glue on it and then put it in the tag. Added some of this nice little trim. Same concept. How about the stamping? Just use a little piece of ribbon that I had there. This one has a bird on it. Little butterfly. And then the big butterfly. See, these are just the pieces of paper that I had left over and I made them into tags. And this one was a piece of paper I had left over, but, you know, different shape. And I did glitter glue some of the stuff to give it a little bit of shine. This was just a little piece of paper that I had left over. I just did a little small trifold, you know, so that you could have place to journal. I used that same edge punch and then just fussy cut this out from the piece of paper. Instead of using the piece of paper, I just fussy cut it, put the glitter glue, and now have a cute little trifold stick in a pocket somewhere. Remember those templates? This was one of the envelopes. It makes an envelope and it had its own little card. So this card fits perfectly in here. Did I do it on the right side or yeah? It fits perfectly in here. I need to put a piece of maybe lace or ribbon sticking out so you know that there's something in there, or I can just leave it on the outside. This one I'll decide how I'm going to use it. I did put the paper clip just so that I know that this goes with this. more tags. That little rose, all I did was add it to the side. Of course, this one was smaller. Another one of those ribbons. I put some trim and then some twine. More paper, some more of those elements. Another one of the little rose one. Had this little tiny one. I put the little butterflies in it. Let's see, what else do we have here? I still have little pieces of paper left over. This one was a butterfly, and I just put some lace on top of it. This was another little envelope that I made using one of those templates, and this goes inside. So I have it paper clipped here to remind me that that goes in there. I still have some paper left over, like I said. This one came in the kit like that. I decided to leave it there. Came in the kit. I have some more of those words, more ephemera pieces. And see, remember I told you I did have like 2 copies of certain things, and this one has glitter glue, this one doesn't, so I don't know which one I'll use, or maybe I'll use both. Another element from a page. This is paper, pieces of paper that was left over, more paper that was left over, so I might cut out more. This one was just like some journaling papers. What else did I do? I know there was more than I did. This was a scrap. This was a page. Let me see. Do I have this one on a page, or did I cut it up? I think I cut it up. Yeah, I did cut up that page. But because I have the tag, you know, and I can put it on the paper, now I can see exactly where I'm going to cut out. So I left this as, excuse me, as a decorative element. Some more of those like list papers, another one of this. This was extra paper. Here is a paper. This one right here. But I did have an extra one. So I made a little envelope, a long envelope, using one of the little templates I had in the bag. And then all I did was I took the other section of the paper and made something like a little tag or a little card that will go in here so that it can come out. Some more elements as they were. And so, look at your journaling pages or your journal kits. See, I still have these 2. This one I cut out. I still have this. I might use it as a journaling card or cut it up. We will see as we go through. See, I still have some left over. I have just a craft piece, a craft envelope. All I did was distress all the way around. So if I wanted to, I could put this. Ooh, that looks nice. Put this on there. Now it becomes you know, maybe some glitter glue on the flowers to pop them. It becomes something from a little decoration in the journal. Scrapbook paper, pieces of paper, another one of those words. This one again, I used this one, put the glitter glue and put the little tab. I put it on cardstock, glitter glued, and put a little tab. So I still have some papers left over because like I said, I had printed 2. I don't know if you caught a glimpse of the first design team project for this kit, but as I mentioned in the part before this one, I spilled water on my design team project, and well, now I have to start from scratch and do another one. So that's why I ended up with several pages left over from the other one. So that's what I've done so far. I will be cutting out my front and back cover. I decided this will be the front, this will be the back. I don't know how I'm going to decorate it yet, but this will be the front, this will be the back, so I'll be cutting those out. Inside of here, I'm going to be putting some paper, and I think I decided on this polka dot one on here so that I can put the pocket in the front and the back cover. I will be finishing up off camera the stamping of butterflies and birds on the coffee dyed paper, and when we come back next time, I will be showing you how to put in the signature here, how I sew it in, and then we can start decorating, putting in our elements inside of the signatures, and the journal should start coming together pretty soon. So thank you for stopping by and working with me on this journal. If you have any questions for me, leave them down, leave a comment on the video, and I will get back to you. I hope this inspires you to look at your digital kit in a different way, meaning maybe starting a little bag or a book of ideas that you want to use, and start transforming your digital kit papers into elements, decorative elements for your journal. Instead of just folding them in half and of course using them as pages in the journal, now you know what you can do. Get little templates, you know, that you can get, and you know, transform the pages into decorative elements for your journals. So thank you for stopping by and watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Any questions or concerns, leave them down below and I will get back to you. And as always, my friends, happy crafting. Bye.